I, along with the rest of the RC world, absolutely love these mini ready-to-fly Warbirds, and I will never complain when they come out with a new one, even if it's just a different paint scheme. The Eachine P-51 with the red and silver paint scheme is the mini Warbird of them all that has kicked them all off. Now we have probably 20 or 30, maybe even more versions of mini ready-to-fly Warbirds, and today we have a Valentin mini Warbird. I love this paint scheme. It's one of my favorites on the P-51. Now here's the thing, some of these fly better than others, and in today's video we're going to put this to the test and see if it does fly as good as some of our favorites. So let's go. Oh, that looks great, Abby. Oh, I like this. That looks like the big, what is it, 1.5 meter E-flite P-51. It is an exact little replica of it, and that bright yellow on the nose just stands out really well, and the blue is popping today too. It looks really good. Now, the story used to go when a person would learn to fly RC planes about a decade ago. It was, hey, you know, I got the apprentice and I learned to fly at my local club. I had someone buddy box me and we trained. And now, in the last few years, everybody's telling me the same story. Nate, hey, thanks to you, I bought that little Eachine P-51 because who doesn't love a Warbird? Everybody loves Warbirds way more than trainer style planes, at least 99% of us. And so this opens up a world of opportunities for people because of it.
Hands-free flying. But you eventually got to turn.
Eventually got to turn, but it's not hard. You just give a little input. And that is the beauty of this, because the size means you can fly just about anywhere. Baseball fields, soccer fields, front yard, backyard. I mean, I have space up here, but I'm not utilizing very much of it. And the cost is about as cheap of an airplane as you can buy. When I say cheap, I just mean budget friendly. It is just not cheaply made. They're very, very durable actually, and come with tons of spare props, which I'm going to show you guys the accessories at the end of the video. Comes with a radio. The radio in this case is very nice, and I will show you that at the end of the video if you're new to all this, or if you're just curious and want to check it out, be sure to stick around to the end because I want to show you guys all that cool stuff. Super durable foam, as I said, very easy to fly with this flight stabilization that's built in right out of the box. You just kick the flight stabilization on with the flip of a switch, and if you want to, you can even throw a stunt button. And I always forget how to do this.
Hold.
Oh, I was holding it. I pressed it.
No, hold your direction.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
You kept flicking it.
There, that's it.
You always flick it.
That's it. You're right. You have to hold the direction. I just did 2 very smooth rolls there, you guys, and it was all pre-programmed. Okay, so you're right, Abby. You got to hold it. Very easy to fly. Long flight times, very cheap universal batteries. You do not have to buy like proprietary DJI $300 batteries. Look at that, it's just beautiful. Optional landing gear, stunt button. You can also take it out of beginner mode and try to do your own stunts in manual mode. These are very finicky though, and I've never flown one that was great, but let's try it. There's a nice loop. Okay, let's keep it. Oh, not a bad roll. That was completely manual mode. We're bringing it around here, taking it back, and it's very windy. So that's another thing. I'm flying in a lot of wind with success. Guys, these planes are truly amazing, and what I wanted to check in today's video and test for you guys all watching in this maiden flight is this Valentin P-51. Does it fly just as good as the Eachine P-51s? In my opinion, yes it does. The only thing that's making it a little challenging is the wind. I'm thinking we're dealing with about maybe 8 to 10 miles an hour with stronger gusts of probably close to 14 and 15 miles an hour. And this little guy's handling it. Right now it's a little smoother, a little calmer. Got a little close there. Little rudder input helped me bank that really tight. Look at that. We are just slip sliding around with the rudder.
I think this is the best Valentin thing we've had on our channel.
Full-on rudder turn. Yes, I agree.
Weren't those? We had 2 really expensive boats that we just
the boats were
could not get to run.
They were horrible. But other people have had great experiences with those. although we just had issues with ours, and we're always going to be transparent about our experience. Now, it's amazing.
I think there's some other Valentin stuff we've had on the channel before though that have not been good either.
Now this one's rock solid though, and maybe they just stole the Ishii P-51 and put a paint scheme on it.
I like the paint scheme.
I love the paint scheme, and the radio feels the same. It's flying extremely well. Let's see if we can. There we go, nice roll. You are so right, Abby, although I gotta figure out how to not do a second one. The second one is always unintentional. That's such a good roll. Look at that. That's great. It loses a little altitude, but not bad. It does a pretty great job. This airplane should be right around $100. Somewhere maybe 120, maybe 130, but in today's market, that's still really good. Long flight time and 2 batteries. This one has 2 batteries, so that's amazing. I was gonna say something else and it slipped my mind, but this is just a fantastic airplane. I'm a huge fan of this. Very easy to fly.
There should be a coupon code down in the description box below for this too, you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Save some money.
Super easy to fly, Abby. I love this collection. As I was saying though, a lot of people now learn on this airplane, this exact type of airplane. And then they upgrade and graduate to other things because this is just so easy to fly. And now remember this too, the smaller they are, the harder they are to fly, but this is the only airplane that I would say is the exception, this size of mini Warbird, because of the stabilization. The flight stabilization on these is just perfect. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. A lot of airplanes in this price, I've flown, let's say Motion RC has a larger Warbird than this, and it costs more, and it's plug and play. Now it's only a little bit larger, okay? It's just a little bit larger, and you have to do a lot more work to get those in the air and looking good, and they don't even have rudder. This has rudder. That is insane to me that this is cheaper than a slightly larger airplane with no rudder. I love that this one has rudder input. You guys can tell though, I mean, I'm just having a blast with this. It's flying so good, but because we chose not to put those landing gear on because it looks better flying this way in my opinion, let's do a belly landing in the grass here behind us, Abby. It's gonna be a little hard because the wind is coming in at not quite a favorable direction, but we'll just loop around, land toward us, and I'll show you guys all these awesome accessories that comes with this airplane. Oh, come on. Hey, I'm glad that popped off because I want to show you something.
That was a terrible landing.
Actually, it was a great landing. That was just, if this line of grass was perfect, I was only negative 1 foot. That's not bad. This is what I wanted to show you guys. A couple things actually, but let's talk about this. I love this feature of these airplanes. You would think, oh my gosh, my prop just snapped off, that's the end of the world. That's the opposite of the case. This actually is supposed to pop off to save your prop. So now we're back in action.
Spin it up.
There you go. So that's awesome. What a beautiful airplane. So durable. I love the looks of this. This might be my favorite looking mini Warbird of them all, honestly. And we've got these little lipos with a little Molex connector, and you can buy like 5 of these for 10 bucks a lot of times on eBay and other websites, maybe the website where we have this linked. A lot of times very cheap. The way they do their ailerons are actual aileron control surfaces, but it does share one servo. Then we have an actual servo both for the rudder and elevator with push rods. I mean, we're talking full scale, well, bigger scale kind of RC planes, and I think that's so cool. Here's the radio, and this thing is perfect for something like this. Now, would I want to fly my giant planes on this? No, but for a ready-to-fly setup, it does a great job. I have no complaints. Here's our flight stabilized mode, intermediate and advanced. So if you're in advanced and you want to try to do rolls on your own and stuff, you can do that. It is harder to do though. I highly recommend you just leave it in beginner mode and just enjoy cruising these things around with throttle on the left, and there's your stunt button. The only thing you need to buy for this is 4 AA batteries. Don't use your AA batteries out of your TV controller. I have heard so many people do that and then wonder why they lose range and stuff. This should last you at least a year. Don't do that. They're killing it on the extras here. You've got your landing gear. You can easily install those if you want to for ground takeoffs. and landings. They're great, but when they're in the air, it just doesn't look as scale. We have our extra battery in there. Here's our USB charger. When I plugged this in, it was fully charged in less than a half hour, but it probably comes with a storage charge on it. And then this is my favorite feature it comes with. It's 2 extra props, but they're 4 bladed props. If you were paying close attention, it's got a standard 2-bladed prop on the airplane, but if you want to go 4 blades, it's there, and you got a spare, which I think is awesome. So this airplane is an absolute home run in my opinion. It's a small world, but check this out. So we're up here flying this little airplane, and as I said, a lot of people will actually fly these things for their very first airplane, and wouldn't you know it, both of these guys have one, and it was their very first airplane. So what's your name?
Jared Thomas.
Jared, and what do you think of flying this little guy?
I really like it. It's very easy to fly, and yeah, it's really nice.
And you've learned a lot on it?
Mm-hmm. Yes sir, I have.
And you've also flown one?
Yes, I have. Yeah, they're very fun to fly. Yep, and very easy to learn too.
Thank you guys. We'll have to make a recommendation in the comments for their second airplane, guys, so let them know.
Absolutely, thank you.
It flies amazing. It's great for the beginner, but I know hundreds of people that fly these with hundreds of airplanes. They're great for the intermediate pilot or advanced pilot as well. Now, a lot of beginners fly these planes, which is what I was talking about while flying, and I highly encourage you guys to pick up AMA too, because for the price of that airplane, and it might seem like a lot when you're buying that airplane, but anything above that, you're gonna be like, wow, this is really cheap. You can have insurance for your hobby for the entire year for the price of that airplane. And I highly recommend you get it because you get a nice magazine subscription. Abby and I are looking at all these events we can go fly at just because we have AMA, the Academy of Model Aeronautics. There's a lot of benefits. They have scholarships that help kids get through school, and I mean, they do a lot for the community other than just the insurance, but that's why I have them. I fly with AMA knowing that I'm insured. So if you want to learn more, we'll have them linked in the description box below where we have the airplane linked, and I'm so happy with that. If it was a dud, I'd tell you guys. We've gotten our hands on these little guys before, and sometimes they are just squirrely and don't fly as good as others, but I felt really good about this one, especially flying in as much wind as we did today. And even though it was windy, we still got to fly and share this experience with you guys on this beautiful day that God has blessed us with, and for that, I'm grateful. If you want to support a family-friendly RC channel, we'll have our Patreon linked in the description box below, and I want to say a massive thanks to all of our Patreon supporters, because without you guys we couldn't get out here and do what we do as often as we do it, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Finally, if you're into these little Warbird airplanes, trust me, there's a ton of them, but we've covered all of them, and we'll have one of those videos popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.